The evening before my wedding, I sat across from my soon-to-be mother-in-law at her dining table in Brooklyn, surrounded by the scent of simmering sauce and silent judgment. She leaned toward her husband and murmured something in Italian, quiet but cutting, like glass wrapped in velvet. They both laughed softly, their eyes drifting toward me, with that expression, the one that whispers, "She doesn't belong here." She assumed I couldn't follow. She assumed her words were sheltered by culture, by lineage, by blood. But what Ludma Sergina didn't realize was that I'd lived in Rome for 2 years on a research fellowship. I spoke Italian, like a native, not a visitor. So I smiled, reached across the table, and replied in fluent Italian, "Don't worry, I'm not after your fortune. I'm perfectly self-sufficient." Her face drained of color. That was only the start. Let me go back. My name is Alina, and a single day before I was meant to marry the man I loved, I woke up to a text that made my heart stumble. It was from Andre, my fiancé, brief, polite, unsettling. "My mother wants you to come for dinner tonight. She really insists. 7 p.m. Can you make it?" That word, insists, not would love to see you or hopes you'll come. Insists, like a summons, not an invitation. I stared at the message, surrounded by the chaos of our queen's apartment, flowers, dry cleaning place cards, and now this. Andre's mother, Ludma Sergina, had never accepted me. Not once in the year we dated. Every dinner, every Sunday visit, she'd studied me like I was a stray her son brought home. Her smiles were paper-thin. Her questions were snares. "Where's your family from? What does your father do? Can you cook?" So? She was old-school Italian-American, the kind of woman who thought wives earned love through silence and servitude. I wasn't that. I called my best friend Marina while folding napkins for the reception. "She wants me there tonight," I said. "The night before my wedding." Marina didn't pause. "It's a test. She's asserting power. Stay calm. Don't try to impress her. Just survive." "I'm not afraid of her," I said. "I know," Marina answered. "That's the problem." I hung up and stared at my laptop. An unread email waited. 3 days old. The subject line said, "Offer, Senior Project Lead, Milan Office." I'd nailed the final interview 2 weeks ago. 1-year contract. Relocation covered. 6 months rent paid. The kind of chance that comes once. I hadn't told Andre. I wanted to wait until after the vows, after the calm. But reading that dinner invite, I knew. Tonight wasn't about surviving Ludma. It was about showing her exactly who I was. I picked a navy dress, a low bun, simple earrings. I didn't need armor. I had something sharper, the truth. I arrived at their brownstone in Bay Ridge. At 7 sharp. Andre's father answered. Tall, gentle, weary, his eyes shaped by battles he never chose. He smiled and led me to the living room where Ludma sat like royalty awaiting an audience. She wore a pale blue blouse, gold at her throat, hair immaculate, expression glacial. "Alina." "Hello," she said, her accent thick with old-world pride. "You look fragile. Aren't you cold in that dress?" It wasn't a question. It was a warning. "Good evening," I said. "Thank you for having me." Andre entered, carrying a salad bowl, his grin bright enough to steady me. That smile, that warmth, was why I was there. We sat. The conversation began. Polite knives wrapped in napkins. The table gleamed, prosciutto, fresh pasta, Sicilian olives, all perfect, all strategic. "So, Alina," Ludma began, folding her napkin. "After the wedding, where will you live?" "Andre's place is small." "We'll manage," I said. "And children? You want them soon?" "Yes. A woman your age should hurry." Andre shifted in his seat. His father asked about books, trying to ease the air. We spoke of poetry. Andre laughed, telling a story about stealing cannoli. As a boy, the tension softened. but not completely. It lingered, thin and smoky, as dessert arrived. André stepped onto the balcony to take a call from our wedding planner. His father rose to make tea, and suddenly it was just me and Ludma. She leaned toward her husband. When he came back with the teapot and said something in Italian, quiet, deliberate, soaked in mockery, he chuckled, the two of them glancing at me as if I were part of the decor, not a person. I caught enough. She'd said, asterisk, at least she's pretty. That's worth something, even if she adds nothing else. Asterisk, their laughter was soft and cruel, the kind that wounds deeper because it's so casual. My hands stayed still. My pulse didn't rise. I'd been underestimated all my life by professors, bosses, people who mistook composure for weakness. But Rome had taught me more than grammar and verbs. It had taught me that respect isn't asked for. It's claimed. I stood slowly, stepped around the table, and placed my hand lightly over hers. She blinked, startled. I smiled, leaned close, and said in fluent Italian, I understood every word. You don't have to worry. I'm not after your wealth or your approval. I take care of myself and those I love. Still, thank you for the meal. It told me everything I needed to know. Her skin went pale. Her lips parted, then pressed shut. Her husband froze, his teacup suspended halfway. Then André walked back in, phone still in hand. The silence in the room was dense, like air before storm. The rest of the evening slid by in formal politeness. Ludma spoke about the wedding, about rest, about how tomorrow would be wonderful. Her tone was smooth, but her eyes were different, careful now, maybe afraid. Outside, the November wind bit at my skin. As I walked toward the subway, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt steady. I'd drawn a boundary and there was no returning. My phone buzzed. You're amazing, André wrote. Asterisk, I could tell something happened. Tell me tomorrow. Asterisk, I replied, just sleep. But sleep never came. I sat at my kitchen table past midnight, staring at the Milan email. The offer was extraordinary. Senior project lead, international development, 12-month contract, renewable with benefits, and 6 months of housing in one of Europe's most beautiful cities. Response deadline, 3 days. I thought of André. A year. Together. Kind, dependable, good. But tied to his mother's gravity, too loyal to break free without guilt. He worked long hours, never complained, always kept his word. He loved me, I didn't doubt that. But love alone isn't enough when duty holds the stronger chain. I pictured us in Milan, morning espresso in Navigli, a small balcony above red rooftops, weekend trips to Lake Como, freedom from Sundays filled with tension and coded insults. But the risk was clear. André's career was here, his clients, his roots. His mother would fight this with fire. And if he followed me out of guilt, we'd both suffocate in resentment far from home. I opened my notebook, drew 2 columns. Milan, growth, independence, equal partnership. Here, safety, family, slow surrender. Between them I wrote, who are we if we stay? Who are we if we go? The next morning, hours before the vows, I called André. I need to see you now. He arrived 20 minutes later, hair mussed, eyes tired. I handed him the printed email. I got a job offer, I said. In Milan. A year. I'm not giving you an ultimatum. I'm giving you a choice. We decide together. Do we build something new or stay where we're told? I won't hide this, and I won't abandon my career to avoid conflict. But I won't drag you with me if you're not ready. We're adults. Let's act like it. He read it twice, hands trembling. Then he looked at me. I'll go, he said. He said, not because I'm escaping her, Because I'm choosing you. Choosing us. I can keep some clients remotely, find new ones there. My mother will hate it. She'll say I'm abandoning the family. But I'm done letting guilt steer my life. He kissed my forehead. And what you told her last night? Perfect. No venom, just truth. For hours later, we were married. The ceremony was radiant, the reception, full of warmth and laughter. But beneath the clinking glasses, Ludma's eyes tracked us like a shadow. During dessert, she pulled Andre aside from across the room. I watched her speak quickly, fingers tight on his sleeve. He listened, nodded, but didn't yield. When he returned, his jaw was set. She knows about Milan. He whispered. She called it betrayal. Said, I'm throwing away everything for you. I asked what he told her. He said, I'm not throwing anything away. I'm starting something new. 2 weeks later, we boarded a plane. Ludma didn't come. Only Andre's father stood at the gate, pulling us both into a long embrace. Live your life, he said. Don't let fear borrow your time. Milan greeted us with golden light and the hum of trams weaving through cobblestone. Our apartment was small, but it was ours. I began work immediately, leading a team of engineers from 4 countries. Andre shifted his clients online, rebuilding from scratch. It wasn't simple. Some nights, he came home worn down, questioning our leap. But we talked. We listened. We refused to bury our feelings beneath silence. Ludma stayed distant for months, brief messages, no calls. Then slowly, the ice thinned. A text about the weather. A photo of his father cooking pasta. Then a letter. 2 full pages in careful English. She apologized for that dinner, for the words, for trying to control what she should have trusted. At Christmas, we flew home. The brownstone smelled of oranges and cinnamon. Ludma watched us quietly, searching for cracks. Instead, she saw 2 people who worked, laughed, and chose each other every day. In the kitchen, she poured tea, her hands trembling. I'm still learning, she said, in halting Italian. I want to speak your language too. I smiled. It meant more than any apology could. In spring, I stood in our Milan bathroom, holding a pregnancy test. 2 lines. Andre cried. When we told his parents. Over video call, Ludma covered her mouth, tears spilling. Come home for New Year's, she said softly. I'll make tiny socks. No more battles, only family. The weight I'd carried since that dinner finally lifted. Respect isn't inherited. It's built, brick by brick, choice by choice. And sometimes, it takes an ocean between you to finally build a bridge. If this story touched you, leave a comment about a time you had to stand your ground with family.